Fala galera, eu sou o Igor Miranda e hoje eu trago para vocês uma entrevista mais do que especial com K.K. Downing, muito provavelmente um dos guitarristas mais importantes da história do heavy metal. O cara que foi parte do Judas Priest por décadas, agora está com uma nova banda chamada K.K. Priest, que lançou agora o seu primeiro disco, Sermons of the Sinner. Não só o nome K.K. Priest tem uma relação com o Judas Priest, como também o fato de que o vocalista dessa nova banda é ninguém menos que Tim Ripper Owens, que foi vocalista de Judas Priest naquele período entre metade da década de 90 e início dos anos 2000, em que o Rob Halford esteve fora da banda. E a sonoridade do disco também é toda voltada para aquele tipo de heavy metal que o Judas Priest fez por tantos anos e que tem a mão do KK ali em muitas daquelas composições históricas. Antes de começar essa entrevista, eu queria só avisar vocês que tem um pequeno detalhe nos vídeos que foram gravados com o KK que alguns de vocês podem acabar estranhando, mas é porque foram duas entrevistas em dias diferentes e foram gravadas por pessoas diferentes. A entrevista foi por Zoom, né? Os 2 dias de entrevista foram pelo Zoom. Um dos dias eu gravei, outro dia foi a assessoria dele que gravou. Então os vídeos estão um pouco diferentes em termos de formato, até roupa também. Quem prestar um pouco mais de atenção vai perceber que o KK está com uma camiseta diferente. Tem alguns detalhezinhos de iluminação que são diferentes, que são perfeitamente naturais para vídeos que foram gravados em 2 dias diferentes. Isso é só um detalhe estético, obviamente, porque o importante é o conteúdo, as perguntas que eu pude fazer para ele, e obviamente as respostas que ele deu. O KK estava muito simpático nos 2 dias, ele parece estar muito feliz com esse projeto e foi demais ter essa oportunidade de falar com ele por 2 dias diretos, né? Um trecho da entrevista foi gravado em um dia e um outro trecho foi gravado no dia seguinte, justamente com essa iniciativa de ter um pouquinho mais de tempo com um cara que é um dos grandes ídolos aí da história do heavy metal. Se liga só!
So let's talk about this new record, this awesome new record, Sermons of the Sinner. We can't ignore our current situation, so I have to ask you, what was it like recording an album during the pandemic?
Yeah, in all honesty, it wasn't too bad, because the thing is, this is what we as musicians do, really. When we're in the writing and recording process, we just shut ourselves away, and it's indoors, and we spend lots and lots and lots of times with computers, with reading manuals about equipment and how to work it, and obviously playing the guitar and trying to think of ideas. So basically, we're there in, it could be quite a small space, really. All of this work goes on, probably without even getting out of a chair. So, and this is why we have to be a bit careful, really, not to put too much weight on and try to exercise, So, but yeah, it wasn't too bad in a way. I was just doing what I was being told to do by the government. You can't go out, you can't exercise, except very little. You can't drive anywhere. You can't stay in a hotel. You can't go to a recording studio. But so that was okay. I didn't feel as though I was losing anything, really, to be honest. And so it was quite conducive to getting the job done.
And if you had to describe this album in a few words to all fans who haven't listened yet, how would you describe it?
Well, I would describe it as hopefully very traditional, what you would expect from me, and hopefully it has, I think it has all of the ingredients that go together that one would come to expect from any of your favorite albums, hopefully, that I've been involved in before, because we have the songs. Some of the songs, they can be longer, that can be more meaningful, that can be more instrumentation, more orchestration. And there's other songs that, you know, that are never going to win a literary award, you know, but they are full out metal. Let's get in the car, let's put a crate of beer in the boot, let's go to the gig, let's get to the heavy metal parking lot, let's have some fun, and let's rock out at this gig, you know. And there's other songs that are similar to those, but they're kind of rebellious. And the songs I'm talking about, I guess you would probably compare to kind of, you know, hot rocking, breaking the law, living after midnight, you know, those type of, you know, basically it's kind of a nice thing for me at my age to be able to regress, and I'm sure everybody will enjoy going back there and remembering when these songs were on the radio and we were out there as younger guys, you know, wreaking havoc and doing everything that people told us not to do, if you know what I'm saying, in the nicest way. So basically, your dad, your teachers, the guy at work tells you to stay out of trouble. So what do? You think, you know, I'm going to let my hair down and have some fun this weekend. I'm going to see, you know, my favorite band in concert, and I'm going to have a good time.
In other interviews, you said that you had no intention of forming a band before. You said that you asked if you could back to Judas Priest because of Glenn's situation. They said no, and then you started to write an album, I guess in December 2019. Is that right? How did everything happen around forming KK's Priest?
Yeah, well, like I say, when I was in Judas Priest for my life, you know, since a teenager in the late 60s, you know, I wanted to be in the band. I even auditioned for the band and didn't get the job, but I was relentless, and I was in the band, I was in Judas Priest, and I felt so happy, you know, and that's the way my whole life was. It was my whole life, and I stayed very loyal and very true. I never had the desire, like Glenn and Rob, to form other bands and play with other people and record with other people. My whole focus was Judas Priest. That was it, you know, and that was very important to me. And so obviously, when we had a problem at the end of 2010, you know, it lasted for a couple of months, and then I said, okay, you know, I will do the tour, but they announced to the world that I'd retired, and so it never happened. But I always thought that when there was a slot available for me that I would be able to step back in, but it never happened. And I kept asking, even in writing, a few times, is the door open? And they kept confirming, no, it's closed, we're happy, you know. And so eventually I did a couple of gigs in 2019, you know, asked them one last time, is the door open? They put in writing, no. Their lawyers responded to me, no, they don't want to meet with you, they don't want to discuss anything. And so I had to go forward, you know, on my own. And so I'm thinking, fine, I've got friends, great people. I'm going to call Ripper Owens up. I'm going to call Les Biggs up. You know, I know some new guys, you know, that are kick-ass, and I'm going to put this band together. But and they tried to stop me doing that. The lawyers wrote to my record label. They wrote to me. The lawyers saying that you can't do it. We'll take action if you form KK's Priest. But I just took no notice of that and went ahead anyway. And here we are. You know, I wish it could be a happier story. But now I have a newfound freedom that I experienced back in the late 60s and the 70s. You know, being responsible for writing music and songs, and now I'm in a very good place with a very good headspace. I'm already working on the next record, which sounds killer.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so I've got the artwork, the title, the song titles, a lot of songs. I'm going to be working with Ripper and AJ. We're going to make the next thing absolutely wonderful. And but for now, we have Sermons of the Sinner ready to go. 2 days, everybody will have it. There's a new video coming out as well, and I get continue to speak to people like yourself, you know, friends and fans all over the world, and so life's good right now.
That's very good to hear. And you seem to be very happy with this whole new scenario of this new band. And I'd like to ask you about, in some point between writing the songs and releasing them, you probably realized that many people would compare KK's Priest to Judas Priest. And for me as a fan, it's natural to compare because you were in Judas Priest for decades. Judas Priest is Judas Priest also because of you. But what do you think about these comparisons between both bands?
It's absolutely fine, because it's who I am and what I am and what I do and how I do it. It's too late to change. I can't change, Igor. It's I can't go out and buy different guitars and different amplifiers and start to write differently and think differently. I have to do things the way that I like them to be done. And that's what I did in Judas Priest for all of those years, to the best of my ability, But even now that I don't have to consult with anyone else, really, then I feel a lot more freedom to be able to do this, And so I think I can do what I do better now than I did before, if that makes any sense, because I'm working and writing and putting things together for me, and obviously, of course, the rest of the members of the band as well. But I was on my own for the most part, in the lockdown doing this. But there's a lot of things I wanted to say and get off my chest. The album's full of emotion. It's emotions, sentiments, and messages, and also rejoicement. And it's a lot of things all in one package. And it was very important for me to be able to express myself through this album. And but yeah, so I know that people will make comparisons, but that's fine, that's fine. I either succeed and fail like everyone else in life, but I'm a fan of this wonderful style of music, and if I like it, I'm hopefully sure that the fans will like it too, and I really hope they do. And I'm very much looking forward to the feedback from everybody all over the world. But the thing is, what I'm really enthusiastic about is going out and playing live for everyone, and this band will tour, KK's Priest, and I want to put on some great shows for people, because the album has such a great energy, I think the way that I was feeling and the energy I felt comes out in the album, and I want to take that to the stage, because I felt towards the end for me in Judas Priest, it wasn't as energized as it was in former years, and I missed that. I missed everybody going out there thinking, I remember the days when Rob used to come off stage and he used to empty his boots out, and the water, which was sweat, you just pour out of the boot, and it was the same for all of us. It was like we ran a marathon or something. So hopefully we can deliver that up. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm definitely going to do my best, put it that way,
I want to talk about some of your bandmates because you formed a very good and a very tight band. It has a connection to your past because you are working again with Tim Ripper Owens after so many years. So what was it like working with Ripper again in the studio so many years later?
Yeah, it was a great feeling, to be fair, and I knew it would be, you know, and I was looking forward to it, you know. It's kind of, you know, it was very pleasant. It was kind of nostalgic, you know, because it was quite a long time ago now, wasn't it, really? 95, 96. And you know, I guess it was something that happened that probably I thought never ever would happen again, you know. And so for that reason, it was extra special, really, to have Tim. He's there with the headphones on and the microphone, and I'm there, you know. It was good, very good feeling.
Yeah. And after working with Glenn Tipton for so long, you got another guitar buddy, AJ Mills, which is also the guitar player for a band called Hostile. What was it like working with AJ in terms of guitar for this album?
Yeah, it was great, you know, very easy, you know. AJ is very totally into the music, and you know, and you know, I mean, AJ now is in his 30s, so he's quite a young man, but he's mature as a guitar player. So yeah, I like the way he plays, I like the way he looks, I like the way he performs, he sings as well. And yeah, it's gonna be great when we get to play live together, you know. It's going to be like turning the clock back, I think, really.
Yeah, and we know Chanel wasn't the first drummer of this band. Originally, Les Binks was going to play with you guys, but he injured his wrist before the recording sessions. About Les Binks, is he going to be involved with KK's Priest in the future?
Yes, definitely. I speak to Les, and he's going to be special guesting with us on as many shows as we possibly can. It's going to be great to have him up there because, you know, it will be great for me to go out there and play some songs, you know, and to be able to see Les again on the drums like he was in 77, 78, 79, you know, again, turning back the clock. It will be a great feeling to be able to go and play those songs, Before the Dawn, Exciter, Beyond the Realms, you know, Hellbent for Leather, or whatever songs that we want to, and maybe some songs from those records that I never got to play would be great, you know.
Yeah, and when I was listening to the full album, it caught my attention that 2 songs have more than 8 minutes. Metal Through and Through and Return of the Sentinel, which is a sequel to the Sentinel, the classic 1984 track from the Defenders of the Faith album. You did some long tracks with Judas Priest, like Cathedral Spires, Loch Ness, Future of Mankind, but I'd like to know how you created these 2 specific songs from the new album, Metal Through and Through and Return of the Sentinel.
Well, I wanted to do kind of Metal Through and Through, obviously, is a massive rejoicement of this great music that we all know and love. And for every song on the album, during the songwriting process, I wanted each song to be a strong song to play live. And so with Metal Through and Through, you know, I wanted to do some kind of just metal tribute, you know, a song that we could all join in and sing along, you know, something that's pretty emotional and just epitomizes everything about this wonderful music that that's been a part of us, you know, for such a big part, if not all of our lives. And of course, these songs, they start out, it wasn't intentional that they should be so long, but because they just are kept adding to the songs, and it seemed to be the right thing to do, you know. So I think I have an automatic switch on and off button. If something's getting boring or repetitive, then it gets cut out. But these songs I felt kept moving, and they continued to basically to punctuate themselves and to really every part of the song was meaningful, you know, and I got to where it needed to get to go, if that makes sense. But the main thing is, I'm really looking forward to playing Metal Through and Through live, because I think it's going to be absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, I have to admit, Metal Through and Through and Return of the Sentinel, it's the two of my favorite tracks on this album. They're amazing. I totally understand that when a song has to be longer, no problem. If it's good, okay, it's longer.
Yeah, it's exactly that, you know. I mean, I'm not an automatic fan of long songs or short songs, you know, but when I turn the clock back, you know, to the 60s, and I'm listening to Jimi Hendrix, 1983, A Merman, you know, I mean, songs like that, you know, they were great to listen to. Or if you listen to Cream, Wheels of Fire, and you have the long improvised solos, and they were just great to listen to. It didn't matter whether they were long or short, though. It worked, you know. So, but yeah, the song has to work. So, and hopefully, with the test of time, hopefully they will become classic, if not epic songs.
For sure, yeah. And what about Return of the Sentinel? How did you come up with the idea of writing a sequel to the Sentinel?
Well, in all honesty, a friend of mine ages ago said to me, you know, about the idea of doing, you know, exactly that, you know, revisiting some of the stuff that's been a big part of my life. And the more I thought about it, I thought, you know, I really like the idea, because I want to bring some of my legacy, you know, and my life into the present and take it into the future with me. And so to be able to have that attachment, and okay, it may be a massive challenge, you know, but to me, it wasn't that difficult. Because I really liked the idea. I had a clear vision of what I wanted to do, and maybe we'll even in the future have a sequel to the sequel, which would be really, really cool.
I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Yeah,
and it may well be there, but you know, for sure. So, but we'll see. You know.
Yeah. And I was impressed by other tracks, Hellfire, Thunderbolt, and I was even more impressed when I saw that the music video of this song got more than 1 million views on YouTube. You're not a beginner, of course, but this is a new band. So did you expect huge numbers like these?
No, I don't think so. So when that happened really quite quickly, I mean, it was such a great feeling, you know. And so I think the clear indications are there, you know, that we can hopefully be successful enough to be able to come and play and do world tours and put on some great shows for everyone.
Yeah. And a quick last question for you. I know it's early, of course, but do you guys have any plans to come to Brazil with KK Priest?
We do. We are talking to promoters. We have been offered some shows, but we need to, obviously, hopefully, we go to other countries in South America as well, or, you know, Central America, you know, because, you know, we want to play more shows, we want to play more countries, and I personally would love to revisit, you know, and again experience, you know, and to be fair to the fans, it would be cruel to just go to Brazil and not go to Argentina or Chile. The fans would kill us, I think. So, so we're talking to promoters, and hopefully we can make it work as soon as we possibly can. The band is ready to go.
Just to end this interview, I know you have a busy schedule, but I'd love to hear a message from for people here in Brazil, fans here in Brazil, because they love Judas Priest. They're loving KK Priest. So please leave a message for your fans here in Brazil.
Yeah, absolutely. To all of the fans in Brazil, firstly, thank you for being a part of this. A lot of you older ones and younger fans and people out there in Brazil. I know that you've been on this wonderful metal journey with me, and it's been wonderful. You know, the music is a part of us, you know, and we are a part of it, and that will never change. And so thank you for your patience. But now, obviously, I have a new record and a new band, and it's good to have some new elements in things as we move on, you know, to keep metal alive and metal fresh, because I believe that this wonderful music has a long, long, long way to go yet. So hopefully, Sons of the Sinner and KK's Priest can inspire all younger musicians and older musicians to want to like this music and to be a part of it, and to create with me some great songs, and therefore the future of heavy metal is safe, secure, and is going to be around for a long, long time, and is not just going to be a page in the history books in 10, 20, 30 years time, you know. It's going to be healthy and as big and as strong as ever.